53% of Generation X consumers think lifestyle choices have at least some impact on the risk of developing cancer, with 33% saying they have a great impact on this. Physical activity. 58% said eating fruits and vegetables is important to them. 57% said that weight loss was important to them. And 56% were the top lifestyle changes Gen Xers believe can decrease the risk of cancer. So Gen Xers are really, really into their health, and they're worried about cancer. Nearly half of Gen X consumers, 48%, say their purchases are impacted by whether a food or beverage might reduce their risk of developing cancer, although prevention of heart disease, diabetes, and other health conditions are also cited at similar levels. Generation X women, African American, are those in better health and are all more likely than their respective counterparts to say that cancer prevention impacts food and beverage purchases. Because you hear a lot of people say, what does the label have on it? You see a lot of people in the grocery store, when they're buying their food, they're turning around and they're reading the labels, because consumers are now, they're doing their buying by understanding what's in their food, by being more aware of what's in their food. Of those who say cancer risks have a great impact on their food and beverages purchases, 57% said their diet is extremely or very different from 10 years ago to what they eat today, versus 25% of whom say cancer risk has little or no impact on their food decisions. Generation X were also asked about their sources they trust most to learn about the potential links between diet and the risk of developing cancer. 31% chose a healthcare professional, and 27% said they trusted health organizations that focus on cancer, such as the American Institute for Cancer Research. Other sources said, as website, government agencies, and family and friends trail far behind what the Cancer Research Institute had to say. A weighty matter for Generation X. What's on the mind of Gen Xers? Their waistline, 1/3. Generation Xers consumers report having followed a specific eating pattern of diet during the past year, with the most popular being intermittent fasting, 8%, clean eating, 6%, gluten-free, 6%, and low-carb, 6%. Whew, that's something to think about. But I got to share it with you. Generation Xers are much more likely than others to be following a diet with the purpose of losing weight, 64% versus 51% of the general population, or to improve their physical appearance, 53% versus 40%. Now, those are numbers that can't be disputed. Those are really important numbers, but let's go a little deeper into it. 4 and 10, 40% of Generation Xers said their diet is very different or extremely different. So that's something to really, really just keep focusing on, what the numbers say. What are they telling us? Where are they leading us to? That's something to really, really think about. Let's recap this. It says about the same. The general population, 39%, for those who say their diet is extremely different now. And the most common response was limiting sugar intake by 20%, followed by eating fewer carbs by 16%, and eating more fruits and vegetables by 14%. More than half, 54%, report trying to eat healthy in general, and 1/4, 23% of Gen Xers look for specific health benefits from foods. It doesn't matter which generation you're in, start looking for healthy benefits, and that's what this segment is all about. We're going to get to it in a minute. While that is the same number as the broader population, Gen Xers seek certain benefits like cardiovascular health in greater numbers than any other adult. But it doesn't matter. We all want better cardiovascular health, right or wrong. I'm going to say right. I'm going to answer right for us. For instance, 59% sought out health and cardiovascular benefits versus 48% of all other age groups. More than 1/3, 36% look for benefits of cancer protection or prevention, And that's one of the reasons why I just study so heavy into bringing all the information I'm going to be sharing with you shortly about these food choices. And the methodology behind it, the results were derived from an online survey of 1,022 Gen X Americans ages 40 to 55, conducted March 22nd to April 9th, 2019. Results were weighted to ensure that they were are reflective of Americans aged 40 to 55 populations as seen in 2018 current population surveys. Specifically, they were weighted by age, education, gender, race, ethnicity, and region. The survey was actually conducted by Greenwald and Associates using Dynata's former known as Research Now Consumer Panel. That's a lot of information, and actually with me even reading it all, and I've been reading it, I just keep rereading it because it's pretty deep. And that was the reason why I did some serious research, being a life coach and a health coach. These are some of the things that we do learn about what foods are really healthy for you and how to help people to eat healthier. So let's get into it. Let's get into that part because this is the most important part. The surveys and the numbers, those are important too to bring validity, but what's really important is what's going to help you, what you put into your body. So based on science, these are some of the things that we found, that vibration foods are raw, organic, local, and real foods including. Now, when I say local, that means, we talked about this in some previous episodes of why it's very important to, if you have an opportunity to shop with your local farmers markets, because a lot of their foods have less preserved. A lot of their foods don't have pesticides. A lot of their foods don't have preservatives. And what you can do is you have an opportunity to ask them. Because when you go to the grocery store, you can't ask anybody because they don't know. They weren't in the process. Their job is to get the food on the shelves when it gets there. Okay, you might be able to talk to the produce manager. He might tell you something. But still at the same time, you get one-on-one conversation and develop a relationship with the farmers. They're going to be there every single week. When it's in season and they're selling their products, they're going to be there. And they'll be able to tell you and talk to you. And then also, they're going to become more aware that consumers don't want preservatives and pesticides on their foods. They prefer to buy something that's right here, that's locally grown in town, that's not shipped across the country, and it's got to be preserved or pesticide so that it could last longer. Whatever it is, we want to eat healthy as people. So let's look at what's going to help us to become healthy. Organic fruits and vegetables, darky leaf greens such as artichokes, asparagus, greens, beets, broccoli, cabbage, carrots, celery, cauliflower, corn, eggplant, kale, leeks, lettuce, mushroom, peas, bell peppers, potatoes, pumpkins, radish, spinach, sprouts, squash, sweet potatoes, and cucumbers. I just had some sweet potatoes that I popped in the oven yesterday for dinner. I made for my family. I popped a whole sweet potato in the oven, cut it open, put a little butter on it because I wanted to get the vitamins and nutrients that sweet potatoes have. And a little later in the segment, we're going to outline not just the food, but why the food. So just, let's get through it. Raw herbs like cilantro, basil, mint, tarragon's, chives, dill, those are really healthy foods as well if you want to eat organic foods and you want high alkaline. Those are very, very important foods too, which are really actually those are things that, we season our foods with. Those are herbs that we season them with. And then sprouts such as alfalfa, mung beans, sunflower seeds, again, broccoli sprouts, cucumbers, etc. Those are healthy food choices, again, that are going to help you reach that alkaline diet. Wild berries, berries, strawberries, blackberries, and more. Berries are really high in antioxidants as well as also being an alkaline-based diet. Fresh pressed green juice smoothies. That's really good. Like juices that are pressed. You know what I'm saying? Like wheatgrass. That's something that's pressed. And then they use it to put in smoothies, and it's really, really good. It's really, really good for your immune system, clean your body out. Just try some wheatgrass. You'll see. Okay, you really, really will. And especially when no sugar's been added, no artificial sugars, no sugars added at all. Just as taking it in its natural form. Pressed juice, once it's pressed, but not adding anything in. It will really, really clean you out really good. And raw cacao, no sugar added. Medicinal mushrooms like chaga and reishi mushrooms. We know that reishi mushrooms are grown high in the mountains in Asia. It really is, okay? And there's also some stuff like green algae, blue-green algae. A lot of people, which we're going to get into that about seaweeds. Seaweed, we're going to get into that again. And probiotics, naturally fermented sauerkraut, pickles, and kombucha. Those are also really good for alkaline. Soaked and sprouted raw nuts, seeds, legumes, and ancient grains like millet or buckwheat. That's really important too for an alkaline diet. Okay, cold pressed organic oils like coconut, flaxseed. I take flaxseed almost every day, the oil. Avocado and sesame and olive oils as well. But I take the actual flaxseed oil every single day, not the peels. I take when I'm making my smoothies, I actually take flaxseed grains and I grind them up first, and then I put them in a bag and I use them to make my smoothies with. And then also on the days I don't do that, then I'll take the flaxseed oil in its natural state of oil that you can buy from the health food store, and I just take a teaspoonful, and or sometimes a tablespoon, depending on how I'm feeling, and I take that as well. Also, something that's really good for alkaline diet is apple cider vinegar. And a lot of times that we can literally make salads with apple cider vinegar when we're mixing up different type of salads to have a really nice salad. I do a summer sausage salad that I use apple cider vinegar in, and it's really good. It helps you lose weight, too, real fast. Sustainably caught wild fish like Alaskan salmon, that's really good for you, too. Oatmeal, root vegetables, except for onions, because onions do tend to upset your stomach. Tofu and soybean and legumes, again, are something that's really good in achieving a high alkaline diet and to help us reduce some of the acidity in our diets. So what I want to do now is I want to give you some tips on why some of these foods are really good for you. I didn't want to just say, okay, this food, that food. Let me just give you some tips to help you with your way of thinking and why. Okay, so when you are eating some of these foods, you can understand what's behind it. One of the foods that's good is cucumbers. They're high alkaline vegetables that help regulate blood pressure and play a role in the structure of connective tissue within the body, including the muscles. Cucumbers are also a mild diuretic and can ease bloating or swelling. Their antioxidant qualities make them great for removing toxins from the body. Cucumbers are also high in vitamin B. And I know what I do. I turn around, sometimes I just slice up a whole cucumber and put some nuts in it and put some, I'll turn around and put some nuts in it, some raspberries, and then I'll, coat it with a dressing, and it's really, really good. Just the whole thing. I said, you just eating the cucumbers? Yeah, I'm just eating the cucumber salad. And so he said, girl, you just, the stuff that you eat, no, this is a cucumber salad. and so I eat it like that. And something that's a really good snack also is seeded watermelon. It's an excellent alkaline forming food. The melon has high fiber and water content, which lets it flush acid out of your body. Incorporating seeded watermelon into the diet not only increases fiber intake, but also helps balance alkaline content in your body. Watermelon is rich in vitamin C, beta-carotene, and contains plenty of argan, magnesium, and potassium, which helps reduce blood sugar. So it's not just one thought, it's not just one benefit in the foods, it's several benefits to your body. Avocado. In addition to balancing pH, this creamy fruit contains antioxidants that do wonders for the skin. Essential antioxidants makes avocados a powerful nutrient-dense food. They are also high in monosaturated fats, which can help reduce cardiovascular disease and balance blood sugar. and offer plenty of potassium, which actually really reduces blood sugar, okay, and blood pressure. That is really good. That's something for you